next to me. So go ahead and get started. We're gonna go to the start menu and HUD layout. Now, one thing I like, basic kind of like shows you like everything, but you can got system, which will limit a lot of this stuff so that you can kind of see things a little bit better. And I like that. That's a new feature that wasn't when we first started. I enjoy being able to set that up that way. Let's just kind of move this up here a little bit. Now, item help action here. This is just kind of my line of sight. I like to kind of put things around in the center of the screen because that's where my eyes are focused. I need to know where mechanics are. I need to be able to see my HUD bar and stuff like that. And then things that I don't really need to see too much, I'm going to push to the outsides. So, notices and stuff. The inventory grid, I'm actually going to turn off. In your HUD menu, if you're using a mouse, you can just right-click it and it'll turn it on and off. Otherwise, when you click on it, you can go here and display and enable. Turn it on and off that way. You can change the size in here. With your controller, when something is selected, when you click the R3 button, and you just click your joystick, you can make things bigger that way. So I like to keep small, and then things I like to have hidden. I don't need the inventory grid. I don't need to show my gill. And there's other ways to look for that stuff, so that doesn't need to be on my screen. The main menu, I don't use the mouse and keyboard, so that won't show up on my screen, so none of that is important. I like to pull my mini map down here in the corner, and I make it slightly bigger. Because this is something I use a lot, but it's down in my line of sight, so that's good. And then I use my server info right on top, so that all of that is in one place. I like to put my duty list up here, so that starts at the top and then just scrolls down. Just feels more comfortable to me that way. The next thing I do, I like to put my health and stuff up here because I don't really need to see it. I'm not a healer. I don't need to pay that much attention to it. Don't want it that big. We'll make it small. And then my experience bar. I don't need to keep track of that. The game will let me know when I level up. I need to grab my cross hotbar here. Hotbar. I always bring it to the bottom. Center that up, and then hotbar 1. Now I'll explain why I use this. I don't actually use it, but I like it to be shown. And I do keep my things kind of small because I need plenty of room on my screen. But I'll explain why I leave hotbar 1 down here and it's turned on. So, progress bar I like to put here. The progress bar is more for casters or anything that's like it takes time to use. That will show you it being used. So leave it here for now. My party list I bring over here. Alliance and everything. So this is my scenario guide. I bring it here. The limit gauge I bring right on top of that. And then my alliances here. Where's alliance 2? There it is. These are for the raids. You won't see these too often unless you're in the 24-man raids. Target bar. I bring my target bar down here. Let me make sure that's the smallest. Yeah. I leave everything small. So target bar here. Status enhancements. Status enfeebles. These are in line of sight. It's just I move them down where I can see them. All that's all about. Beast gauge I like to put down here, which all your job gauges I will pretty much put in this corner. It's kind of like an empty spot down here that I fill up because I have everything hidden down here. Focus target can go here. It doesn't really need to be anywhere specific unless you're excuse me, healer or somebody that really needs to use the focus bar. It's good for certain boss fights. If you have to untarget the boss for extra ads or something like that, you can focus the boss and still be able to see when they're doing like major cast or something that needs to be avoided or interrupted or something like that, especially if it's one you have to hide from. It's really good. You can use the focus target for that so that you can focus the boss. I know some healers like to use the focus target as for the tanks, or one tank. That way they can quickly heal an individual person. I don't know what this status info other is. I don't think I really ever used that. That's pretty much my layout. I'm going to turn on a couple of options in the settings. But that's how I have my layout. So when I go back into the screen, this is all clear until I target something, which is here. And I may end up moving that over just a little bit. So I'm going to remove these from my hotbar because I don't need those. We're going to be putting them in other places. Alright. So, let me make my chat a little bigger. And I have to turn up. So I'm 8C half the time, so I have to come in here and turn up the font screen size, the font size, so that I can see what things look like. Yeah, 18 is where I like it. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is go to our cross hotbar, and here we're just double checking to make sure things are where they want to be. Always display. Bam. WXHB, and this is why. So we're going to turn these on, and we're going to set them to 3 left and 3 right. And I'm going to enable the expanded controller, and I'm going to set them to 2 right. Now, I'm setting both of them to the same side. So let me explain as I go through and set up my hotbars, and then I'll explain those settings more often. I don't think there's a whole lot of other things I do set up. I don't like these. This is where you can turn off the little things that pop up on the screen every time you log in. I don't need those. That was that play guide that popped up over here when I first logged in, and I don't like to see those. This one is a good one though. I kind of like the achievement one. That way, if you are, anytime you log in, it lets you know, hey, you almost finished this achievement, and you can decide to focus on that day if you want to. Items. Here we go. So I like the inventory all, and let me show you what that looks like. So if you go into your inventory, you get this. And we'll make that bigger with the R3 button. Click in the joystick. And then you have all these tabs, right? So you can't see everything. But if you go in to your settings, and then you take this and you click open all, and then retainer to expanded, and that's just me, and I'll show you the difference between expanded and all. But all is my favorite. I like to sort categories, standard, fill tabs, sort items into tabs. I like this better than fill tabs in order, because it kind of separates into 4 squares. So now when you go into your inventory, everything opens like this. So this is basically tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and tab 4 that we had across the top a minute ago, and then you have your key items and your crystals. The sorting of the inventory, I like it this way because it's going to put all your gear in this first tab until you run out of space, and then it'll sort like items and then like different things in different spots. So it organizes the sort into categories, so it's easier at a glance for me to understand what's where and to keep track of stuff. When I go to show you my main character, you'll see I'm a freaking hoarder. I keep so much stuff, even though I'm trying to get better at learning to get rid of stuff. So you'll see everything is full as hell. Alright, as far as the settings, I think I'm almost done. The skip played back scenes. If you don't want to watch cutscenes every time you go into a dungeon, every time you transition and travel, click those buttons. If you wonder why everybody gets to the fights faster than you do because you're trying to exit or skip a cutscene, it's because they have this turned on so that it automatically skips the cutscene and it just loads them straight into the fight. I'm good on everything else for now. The only other thing I do from time to time is the colors. I'll come in here to log text colors. I like shout to be a darker red color. It just helps me see it better. Tails, I like to be this like blue color. Lights can stay orange. Party chat. Emotes, I don't do it. And I don't really change anything else. Those are just the ones that I like to change. It just helps me see it better. Apply. There's a chance I log into my main character and these colors are slightly different. Because I can't remember the exact colors I pick all the time, and then sometimes when I make new characters they change. They're similar though. Alright, so that's my layout. And that's pretty much all the settings that I have and how I like to do things. That way I can run around, do that stuff. So next thing, we're going to talk about the hotbar layout and what I like to do. And the new feature, I mean, I like the fact that now I have access to like all my skills and stuff,